Hi, it's Dr. Teran, and you're listening to The Pop. The Pursuit of Peace podcast is brought to you by SP Consulting Group, where the mission is bringing your vision to life. Welcome back to The Pop, the Pursuit of Peace podcast by yours truly. Hi there, it's Dr. Teran, and we are here again this week to talk about mindfulness. And guess what? Today is also Juneteenth. And guess what? It's also National Sickle Cell Awareness Day. A lot of things going on today. And with everything going on, we are talking about thinking about what you're thinking about. Now that's a lot, right? So with a lot going on and a lot of things going on in our head, a lot of stressors going on, but also a lot of good things going on, we want to just talk today about how I have dealt with racing thoughts and anxiety and really being in a place where when there's a lot of stressors, how we can calm our minds and our bodies in order to help refocus, to help us seek peace, and definitely be in a better place where we can perform at our optimal level. So if you're like me, I have a lot of thoughts always going into my head and out of my head, and for random reasons. It could be a stressor. It can be because I'm getting excited about something. I am definitely a creator at heart. I started out in Cleveland, Ohio with the Cleveland School of the Arts, where I was a drama major. And when it's all said and done, I am in love with the creative arts, thinking of great ideas, being innovative, thinking outside of the box. And this has actually helped me be more effective in my practice. But it has also created a sense of, anxiety, because there's just always something that I'm thinking about. So how in the world did I stumble upon mindfulness? Now, if you've been listening to the series, you'll realize I literally do not have it all together. Okay. That's why we are on this pursuit of peace together, so that we could help each other out, right? I do everything that I can to provide tips, and these are tips that I actually use myself, and sometimes I don't. It's what you call being human, right? Well, there you have it. That is me for sure. So not only being a creative, I also have that intellectual, scholarly side of me where I am definitely a bookworm. I love reading. I love discovering different things. And when it's all said and done, I do a lot of studying. So, for instance, after finishing undergrad, I went straight into the Ohio University. And that is in Athens, Ohio. Bobcats, OHIO. I know that you're doing it with me. For those that don't know, that's just what we do. And then after undergrad, I only took about a year off and went into the Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio, where we have our internationally known Buckeyes, right? So after that, I did take another maybe 1.5 years off, but I definitely went back to school again. And that's where I ended up being a licensed clinical therapist. I am also internationally certified alcohol and drug counselor, as well as organizational development psychologist, where I practice in my private practice with SP Consulting Group. And that's where I like bringing your vision to life, right? That's how I get so creative. I perform thinking outside of the box, being innovative, being very person-centered, and finding creative ways to be individualized with what your needs are through my consulting, coaching, mental health services, trainings, and public speaking. So if you want to know more about my services, feel free. It is www.officialspconsultinggroup.com. That's where you can find me. Again, that's www.officialspconsultinggroup.com. We can share more about that a little bit later. But the whole point is to say, of all the 50 million things that I do, I end up with racing thoughts, whether it's anxieties associated with my daily life, working at the federal government level, different life experiences where I have experienced racial prejudice and discrimination, and being someone with sickle cell. It is not only Juneteenth today, but it is National Sickle Cell Awareness Day, which means that we are taking a look at how we can continue to bring about awareness for those in need. Actually, if you guys didn't know, visit my Facebook page, and the handle is the SPC Group, and that's THESPC GROUP, the SPC Group, where you can find more information about the GoFundMe page that I started for California's own Sickle Cell Foundation of California. Definitely feel free to give a penny. Give whatever coins you have at the bottom of your purse, or, in the cracks of your couch that's been frequented these past few months. You probably have a few coins and a little treasure under there. Go ahead and give it to a good cause. But definitely check out my website. Definitely feel free to check me out on LinkedIn. I'm at the SPC Group there as well. So THESPCGROUP, the SPC Group. But anyway, let me jump right into it. When we're talking about racing thoughts, when we're talking about mindfulness this month, right? In regards to mindfulness, let's think about this. Racing thoughts definitely feel overwhelming. And since this is the place where we are pursuing peace, think about how this overwhelming feeling ends up being in some ways a sabotage of your sleep, or even your sleep quality and your ability to focus. Practicing mindfulness and pretty much a lot of relaxation exercises that can help calm your body, quiet your mind, and these racing thoughts, and pretty much, as I said before, get you to the place where you can refocus. Now, there's some tips that came out of Psychology Today. I love to share little tips, and like I said, I'm a bit of a bookworm, so I dig and dig and dig, and this is how I find a lot of information for people to help them. But if you were to go to a blog that was on Psychology Today, they talk about 5 ways that you can stop your racing thoughts. And as we said, thinking about what you're thinking about, one of the first things they said is remember. So you're going to be thinking about a time where there was a worst case scenario, and then realize that that probably won't happen, right? Just think about what you're thinking about and acknowledge the fact that the worst case scenario probably won't even happen. Okay. And then when we're talking about, step 2, one of the things that you can do in step 2 is get to a place where you actually maybe even use a mantra. And a mantra is basically just like a simple phrase or a word that you repeat in your mind. And this is where you are basically taking the part of your brain that's responsible for reflection and self-judgment and using it to spend some time hashing out the past, but doing it in a way where you can use any word or sound you want to focus in on that, but then to also take your mind away from it. So you're thinking about what you're thinking about. You're thinking about your mantra that you created versus those thoughts. So for example, some people may say the very typical, it's literally the word, OM, or some may say life is good, or everything is okay, like saying over and over again, everything's okay, everything's okay, everything's okay, everything's okay. Think about the words, and sometimes, again, how I like to blend it with my prayer, sometimes my mantra ends up being the name of Jesus. So I'll just say, Jesus, 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 just calling on the name of Jesus, taking my thoughts away from whatever stressor was going on, whatever situation may have blown up, gone out of proportion, and is having me in a place of anxiety, anything like that, stress. Another one, number 3, is focusing on the present. Okay, so you're thinking about all these thoughts. Some people may have trouble getting your mind, or when I've had trouble getting my mind off of a stressor, For instance, all the things that are going on in the world, and you watch the news and you're sort of stuck there. What could you do to bring your mind back to a space of peace, as opposed to thinking about all the hurt, the anguish, the tears, the frustrations, everything? And that is just bring your mind back to the present, understanding that there are some things that are not in your control, but also realize that when it comes to things of the past, you can't change it. Things that are in the future that haven't happened yet, it's a waste of time to keep thinking about them. And this doesn't mean that you are unaware of what happened, that you're dismissing what happened in the past. That's not what we're talking about. It's not even about not planning for the future. We're talking about taking a deep breath and really asking yourself, how are you feeling right now in this very present moment? And if there is something that you can do about it to channel your energy, just as I was sharing, I'm going to be raising money for the Sickle Cell Foundation of California. This is something that I can do. And while we celebrate Juneteenth and the celebration of freedom, there are a lot of people, such as myself, that have not been freed of the chronic pain and anguish. And that for me is one of the things that brings about anxiety from time to time that I have to keep under wraps. So I do use this to focus on the present. In the present moment, what can I do? And if I can't do anything, then I know that that is in my circle of concern and it's not in my circle of influence. There is a difference. I can do something when I can influence something. If it is out of my control, I can't do anything about it. And it's something that I am concerned with, as opposed to something that I can control and actually do something about. Okay. So another thing is writing things down. Sometimes it just helps. I know that as I was doing some building up of a new course for you all, I really had to do a brain dump. I was getting so overwhelmed. My thoughts were racing. And one of the things I had to do was come to a place of journaling and taking deep breaths while I was journaling to really just calm myself down and just get all the thoughts out there. It may not even be a journal. I even purchased some sticky notes, different color sticky notes, put a different color for a different subject matter, and everything that came up to me about all of my circles of concern. I put down what it is that I could do about it, what it is that someone else could do about it, and just making sure that I'm not sitting up here worried about things that I can't control, but letting it out as well so that it didn't overwhelm me. It didn't continue to consume me, especially consuming me from the standpoint of unhealthy sleep patterns, unhealthy eating patterns, unhealthy mindset. It was not doing anybody anything. And I already said, breathe, right? That was a part of it. We always know that we need to breathe. And when we're breathing, did you know that this is shifting our fight or flight response? Now, this is a response of the sympathetic nervous system that is to relax you. This is your time to shift from the fight or flight to a relaxed response of the parasympathetic nervous system. So what you're doing is counting to 3 as you breathe, and then you get to 5 as you breathe out. So try counting to 3 as you breathe in, 1, 2, 3, and then count to 5 as you breathe out. So you're breathing out more, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that sort of deal. Okay. So pay attention only to what you are breathing in and out. Like, pay attention to that. Sometimes your mind may wander, but you can just bring it back. And I have had people even try, when they're breathing in and then they breathe out, breathe in things that they want in their life, manifestation, speaking it into existence, really manifesting out into the world, to God, to like every spiritual fiber in you, that this is what you want to have. This is what you're getting rid of. This is what you are binding to pull out. This is what you are now pulling in from heaven, which is peace, love, gratitude, all the things that we need to survive, right? So think of those things. Think of what you're thinking about and try these 5 steps. Like I said, this comes from Psychology Today. I was looking at the work of Dr. Patricia Herdenek, and it says just remember. First one, remember that the worst case scenario probably won't come to pass. Number 2, make sure that you use cognitive distancing. Cognitive distancing. And that part, I'm trying to think, I may have skipped that one. But the cognitive distancing is where your mind goes into this worry state, but you're actually balancing your mind to actually let your mind know that these thoughts aren't true. You know, our mind usually worry about things that it's convinced are true, but most of the time they are not true, right? They're not true most of the time. You can balance this, okay? For instance, if you feel like someone is, saying something that may be offensive, sometimes it is good to just ask, did you mean to say this? Because right now, trust and believe, everyone is on the edge. So between cognitive distancing and making sure that you are remembering that the worst case scenario probably won't even happen, those are pretty much one and the same. So I said 2, but that's actually one and the same. It's probably not true, so you need to step away from your thoughts, okay? Next one, use a mantra. I mentioned that one. Number 3, focus on the present. Number 4, write it down. Like I said, do a brain dump and then breathe. Make sure that you are breathing because, again, as much as we talk about mindfulness is just about as much as we talk about the importance of your breath. And according to our doctor here at Psychology Today, Dr. Patricia Herdenek, she let us know that when it comes down to our breathing, this shifts the fight or flight response of your sympathetic nervous system to the relaxed response of the parasympathetic nervous system. So again, try counting 3 as you breathe in and 5 as you breathe out. Make sure you're paying attention to your breath and that you try to slow it down. Again, a lot of times these racing thoughts are because we're anxious about something. And I know for one thing, my Bible says, be anxious for nothing, but in all things, be in prayer, be in supplication, basically make sure that you count on the things and refer to the things that matter most. And that is mind, body, spiritual health, you guys. Okay. So I hope that you guys have some nice plans for, or actually you probably already did have some plans for the weekend and celebration of Juneteenth. It starts tomorrow. And I know that nationally it goes from Friday to Saturday. So from today through to tomorrow is the celebration of Juneteenth. Please be safe out there. Make sure that you're continuing to social distance because when it's all said and done, even though we're halfway through the year, COVID didn't take a halftime, okay? We are not in timeout from COVID. So please continue to wear your mask, wash your hands, stay at least 6 feet apart, and love one another from a distance, right? Do some celebration, but make sure you're staying safe. And I hope you got something of a good nugget out of today and that you will practice mindfulness. Think about what you're thinking about and know that when it's all said and done, we are here to pursue peace. Take care. Till next time. And don't forget, you can find me at www.officialspconsultinggroup.com. That's www.officialspconsultinggroup.com. If you'd like to get involved with my private healthcare group. It's a private support group called the Healers Pop, and that's the Healers Pop on Facebook. You can just type it in. It is viewable from a public view, but it is a private group. You have to be a mental health therapist, want to support our helpers. We are caring for our caregivers, right? So let's make sure to do that. And also, if you'd like to give to the GoFundMe page that I created for the Sickle Cell Foundation of California, you can go on there. Like I said, get your coins. We accept coins as well, and we appreciate your support. All proceeds go to the Sickle Cell Foundation of California. All right, I'll let you guys go. Have a good weekend. Be safe.